Welcome to Keeping It Real by Housing.com, the podcast where we dive deep into the evolving world of Indian real estate through conversations with visionaries building it. I'm your host, Swarali Zoshirao. In today's episode, we take you to Pune, a city known for its IT hub, manufacturing prowess, and educational leadership. It has also earned the epithet of Queen of the Deccan for its excellence in intellectual and cultural development. Nestled in the serene Sahyadri Hills, Pune's pleasant climate, economic and socio-cultural richness is an appealing investment for those looking to find a permanent abode in one of the most promising urban centers in India. To talk about all of this and much more, we have with us someone who knows it like the back of his palms. We have Mr. Ravi Varma, Chairman Emeritus, National Association of Realtors. Mr. Varma has over 50 years of experience and served as a president of the Estate Agents Association of Pune for 6 years. He has served in different roles at National Association of Realtors India for 17 years, including its chairman for 9 years. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Varma. And let us get started with the questions. Broadly, if we look at the residential real estate market, there are a few trends emerging from it, and specifically I want to ask about the trends which are going on. In some cities, prices are hiking like anything, but in other cities, they are like plateau, they are going flat. So how do you look at this trend and what do you have to say on it?
So generally, the prices will always rise as far as real estate is concerned, and they rise gradually. There used to be a shortage of land. You must understand that real estate prices are directly related to land prices and cost of materials that go into construction. Some of the cities grow in price a little less than the others, but many of them are a function of infrastructure and land supply. Prices are directly related to how much urban land is available. If you recall, we used to have galloping prices in the past when the urban land ceiling was there. After the land ceiling was scrapped, and particularly here in Maharashtra, experience has been that a lot of land has been made available by the government. Also, roads and other social infrastructure has been made available to people. So people are not crowding into city centers, but are dispersing into suburbs, and therefore prices tend to soften up. These are various pressure points as far as prices are concerned. Our recent times has seen inflation at a fairly controllable rate. So of the 250 odd components of a house, there are materials that go into making a house. Not all of them are rising at rapid levels, point number one. What is a rising cost is cost of getting approvals. So government has to do something to control that. That is a pain point as far as the industry is concerned. And land prices, I already mentioned that if you control land prices, you'll have affordable housing.
When we talk about residential real estate, there are also trends which shows that there is an increase in demand for premium houses among the wealthy Indians, and on the other hand, the rise is in double digits. So what kind of signal does this trend show according to you?
Actually, increase in prices of the more expensive real estate is a very small percentage of the overall market. Most of the market is in the mid-price segment and the affordable housing. After COVID, what has happened is people are going in for one extra bedroom or slightly larger homes than is their need. So if they need to work from home again. So that trend started after COVID. Smaller homes are being planned less and less, at least in the major cities. If we take a sample of 7 or 8 cities, which is what we normally do for a national survey. The expensive homes, particularly in places like Mumbai and NCR, they appear to be flying out of the window because the number of people who are joining the rich and the very rich are also increasing. The other pressure point is that because of the steady rise in prices, people want to buy homes for every house member of this. There was a time when we were quite happy if we had one house at the end of our lives or somewhere at the end, at the maturity level of our lives. Now it is not so. Now, because we know that tomorrow it's going to cost a little more, so there is a pressure of buying for every member of the house.
So if we look at the data or percentage, there is a tilt towards buying under construction properties, and it shows that it is around 78%, which is a huge number. So what is the reason behind it? Builders' credibility or the changing patterns of decision making in Indian families?
Well, we are on a national level, we are 10 million homes short in the major urban centers and about 25 million homes short of housing in the secondary cities like Indore and Coimbatore and so on and so forth. So that shortage is always there. And it's likely to stay for at least in the foreseeable future, 3 to 5 years. Beyond that is astrology. But it's likely to stay that way. We are not making enough homes for everybody to be able to be accommodated.
Can you please elaborate on this point when we say that we are not taking homes which are inclusive of all sections of society? Can we throw some more light to this?
Give you an example, it takes the need is there. You're short of homes, but not everybody can afford even the affordable homes. The government is doing its best that if you don't have a home and if you qualify, they'll give you $1.5 lakh to make a home. Now, you know, and I know $1.5 lakh is just going to get you at the most couple of rooms where land price is negligible. But as we go along, more people enter the workforce who can afford homes. Housing loan the interest rates have become softer.
Right.
So that will increase the affordability for the people who want to buy.
Right. So we talked about the government part of this, but what changes real estate as an industry will have to go through when we are talking about all-inclusive buying patterns for homes, for people to come forward, as you rightly pointed out, the shortage we have in the demand and supply chain. So what changes will the industry have to go through to change this number?
And where the problems are most intense, like in Mumbai, you have slum redevelopment schemes. You have redevelopment as a major segment of the market. All these policy decisions are going to add to the number of homes that will be made and therefore soften the prices. Where you had colony, there used to be height restrictions. So there are several things that are going concurrently. One is the FSI has been increased in many of these cities. Land is becoming available. Redevelopment is happening, and to get rid of the slums, there is slum rehabilitation schemes. So all these together gives us hope that over a period of time, more people will be able to afford homes and our cities will start looking a little better.
Right. As we sit in the city of Pune and discuss about this entire subject, with being a hub of IT or education, Pune is also a magnet for developers from various parts of the country.
Yes.
We also know about the national developers like Casa Grande or Tribeca or Hiranandani for that matter. They have a legacy in this country. So what attracts them in a city like Pune?
So Pune, as you know, is the per capita income is among the highest in the country.
Right.
Point number one. Employment generation is very high. We have 56,000 registered industries. We have about 90 million square feet of IT space. So all this generates employment. Wherever there are employed people and there is disposable income, where there is disposable income means they can buy homes, and therefore these people are attracted. All the big boys are here now.
Right.
You have Godrej, you have Tatas, you have Shapoorji Pallonji.
Right.
You name it, they're all here.
Yeah.
They want a piece of the pie.
Talking more about Pune's pockets where
Yeah.
people are looking forward to buy homes. If we look at the areas like Hinjavdi or Punavle or Moshi for that matter, and there are a lot of other pockets where the demand is growing in people to buy homes. And I want to connect this point with the subject you were talking about, that people are dispersing in more suburban areas. So does all these factors correlated to each other when we talk about the real estate market?
They do. To give you just take an example of Moshi. Moshi is a suburb that even being in the industry 10 years ago, I hadn't heard of. As they made the infrastructure, there is a real estate saying that if you have good infrastructure, is good for business. So Moshi has very broad roads.
Right.
To give you an example, they were at one time selling at the same price as Kharadi or Kalyani Nagar Annex, because their roads and infrastructure was much better. So that will happen. There are, Kharadi, for example, has millions of square feet of IT space. So employment generation is a hell of a lot. Then the social infrastructure improves. Your hospitality industry, your restaurants and schools and stuff like that starts coming.
And how much the factor of employment impacts, because a lot of people come across the India to Pune because they're employed in the IT industry of Pune, or a lot of startups are also growing in Pune. So does that impact for areas or the pockets which are specifically created?
If you've been a Pune resident for long,
Like about 4 years.
been born and brought up in Pune. So today you see Pune, if a new person comes here, we will think of it as a vibrant, growing metropolis.
Right.
That transformation has happened, which it used to look like a kind of a sleepy, retired person's town. That has not been so now for more than 25 years, ever since industrialization took place. And there were several policies which encouraged people to open industries in Pune, for example. Tatas came here, that was a transformative event.
Right.
And then people who were working as engineers over there was a policy to give them ₹1,00,000 if they wanted to start an ancillary. And in those days, you could start an ancillary with a very small amount of money. So this is how it kind of mushroomed.
Right.
So you had industries developing. When you leave Pune, you'll notice in any direction, there are hundreds and thousands of industries.
So all these are interlinked as in industry, education, employment, and the buying, selling
That's right.
pattern that we are discussing. So as we talk about the infrastructure of the city, as you talked about the roads which connect areas like Moshi, on the other hand, we have metro lines which are expanding. Already we have 2 routes which are functional, and we also know that more than 20 kilometers of the metro route will be expanded in coming some time. So how does that impact this pattern? Because metro is equals to connectivity.
It will definitely help the real estate market because, like I said, that good infrastructure is good for business. Whether it is real estate or it is any other business, you will notice that whenever, I'll take a classic example of a suburb where I live, which hasn't developed very well, but it's a great place to live, Sopanbag. Just across the racecourse.
Right.
We have some of the best residences, hell of a lot of greenery. We are the oxygen of the city next to us. There is the Emeritus garden. Our own societies are full of trees and greenery. But we don't have any restaurants.
Right.
We don't have schools. So when we said 30 years ago, our land prices were similar to Sin Society. Today, Sin Society is at least twice more than Sopanbag because they have everything that I'm talking about.
So I think
We
that's
didn't build this social infrastructure.
right. So that's how connectivity impacts a person, because
Absolutely.
say for anyone who is coming back from office, people need that comfort where you have all the facilities surrounding your own home or your
That's right.
own area.
That's right. Kalyani Nagar is a sterling example. Good roads, good restaurants, schools also now.
So, do you think this pattern impacts more in the younger generation, like people who are working? Like
Yes.
for elders who are retired, will prefer places that might be in suburb and they are not well connected, as in they're fine with it. But for younger generation, they look for the connectivity at its best.
Younger generation looks for connectivity and infrastructure is one part of it, but they're looking for lifestyle. They don't want to buy a home. They want to buy into a lifestyle. They need the sports facilities. They need the health facilities. They need the other infrastructure that also announces not only their quality of life goes up, but it also announces that I have arrived. I live in this society, That kind of aspirational streak is more in the younger generations.
So that's a very important point that you have said, that aspirational streak is very important.
So you will notice even a modest society being planned today has virtually everything that a person needs.
Right.
You'll have the tennis courts, you'll have entertainment facilities, then there are social facilities like amphitheaters. And so on and so forth. So they are all catering to a lifestyle.
Right. Or gathering halls or public
That's
places,
right.
gardens. Right. So talking about the ready reckoner rate, which is hiked to 6.8% in Pune, how does this impact the buyer or a developer in a city?
Pune, for example, has very little ready inventory. The overhang is very little. The number of projects being announced are increasing as time goes by. This trend is likely to continue at least for another 3-4 years. You are getting, while the prices are going up a bit, you are getting more for what you are paying than just a house. So whether it is internet or whether it is the other facilities that are being offered, they're steadily increasing. That I don't think the consumer is complaining about, and it's likely to continue.
Right. And yet the overhang has increased to 26 months or so.
I don't know where you got those figures, but it depends who's making those figures. But the most reliable data available is from TRADAI. They say that it's more like 6 to 9 months overhang.
Right.
That includes across the segments, the affordable segment and the luxury segment.
Right. As we were talking about for today's generation, lifestyle is what appeals them. So what will be your suggestion to buyers in cities like Pune? What do they look for? Because even we can see a shift.
They're looking for lifestyle.
Right.
Incidentally, my office is just above TRADAI's office, so I have access to their data all the time. So they're generous enough to share it.
What will be your suggestion to buyers when they look for homes?
There's a combination of things. Now, if somebody walks into my place, we need a total profile of the person. Where they are working, where the wife is working, where the school for the children is, and so on and so forth. What do they do after their respective formal activities are over? What kind of entertainment are they seeking? All that determines where they should be buying or where they buy eventually. If you get it all right, then you will make the product for the customer,
right,
for your customer. So you have to just tick off the needs that you're catering to or you want to cater to. And if they define their needs well, they will find the developer who's offering that to them. So
this shows that real estate industry is really a dynamic one which has to change with time and demands
all the
and
time,
the society.
All the time. You have to anticipate what your customer wants.
Right.
The sole purpose for us to exist as an industry is to cater to customer satisfaction. Whether we do it by offering services to buy and sell or the builders do it by producing a product that the customer wants. The whole idea is that they need to be satisfied. Only then we are doing justice to the industry and to the consumer.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful discussion. And
it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
That's a wrap on this episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com. We'll be back soon with more stories from the real estate sector with the change makers who are reshaping how India lives, invests, and inspires. You can catch the episode on Housing.com, on the Housing.com app, YouTube channel of Housing.com, on earshot.in, Spotify.com, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, and JioSaavn. Take care and stay safe.